Previously on The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon.
Man, I can't believe we have to wait so long for Dead City Season 2. Well, that was quick. So they go to the Eiffel Tower, and this is when we get a really major scene. Get like a big friggin', fight scene. OG Walking Dead, like, charisma back. Daryl in the barn beating up, Randall again. I freaking loved it.
Why would you do this? Why?
My goodness, Daryl, lay off the kid for a little bit, would you?
Hey, Daryl.
Yeah.
Hey, came back.
Who came back? Who came back?
Oh god, this kid just crossed the line. Daryl, you gotta get your ass back to the US, buddy.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our second last review for the very first season of the Daryl Dixon spinoff. This one's for episode 5, titled Deux, Amours, in translation to English, that is called Two Lovers.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our second last review for the first season of the Daryl Dixon spinoff series. This one's for the penultimate title, Deux, Amours, or in translation to English, Two Lovers, which I assume that means that it's titled based off of Quinn and Isabelle, right? Because we see a little bit of their stuff in this one. So I assume that's probably what it's called for. But either way, man, this episode, I mean, early reviewers were not joking. This is without a doubt the best episode of the first season of Daryl Dixon. We saw everything you'd want to see. We saw, Walking Dead character mentions. We saw great flashbacks. We saw amazing battle scenes. We saw great moments for Isabelle, great moments for Daryl, great, moments where I just flipped the hell out, which we'll talk about as well too. But yeah, this episode had everything around it. It really did. So basically what we get in this episode is we get Isabelle and Quinn. Isabelle is kind of, staying there, right? She decided to stay back last episode, and basically, she's not really used to being with Quinn anymore. They're kind of trying to get back together, but it's not really fully working. And anyway, they kind of end up going on a trip, and then they go to see Madame Jeanette, and then we get some of the stuff later on in the episode. So that was their plot. That was kind of like a minor plot in this episode, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. And then the main storylines going on is Daryl in the hole in the current timeline, and then of course getting to see the flashbacks of Daryl in Maine by the coast, right? So let's go over the flashbacks first. So Daryl was in, of course, after he left the original Walking Dead, we saw him, he left, he said to Carol that he loves her, and he promised that to Judith that if he finds Rick or Michonne, he'll find them both and he'll bring them home, right? So he was out there trying to not only find Rick and Michonne, but find other communities to maybe join up to, Hilltop and Alexandria and Commonwealth and stuff, right? Because that was their big objective. And he was out there on his bike, basically, and he ran out of fuel, right? So we see him, he's kind of like walking his bike, he's trying to kind of, slowly make it back and stuff, and you've got a guy that kind of pulls up in a truck. Now, he offers him help, he offers him fuel, and Daryl's just like, nah, I'm good, and then the guy's like, well, how are you really going to get back all the way back home on that thing when you got no fuel, right? So Daryl takes the help from the guy, and basically, it's kind of like a checkpoint or whatever. It's like, they're all kind of like, people come in and, they could trade and do some stuff like that, right? And you've got these old men that are kind of like part of this crew, and they're kind of making fun of this like younger teenage boy, right? And Daryl kind of catches wind of this, and at first he's just kind of watching, and he's like, all right, I'm not going to step in and do nothing, but it's kind of bothering Daryl because Daryl likes the young kids, right? Daryl is, very close with kids, and he could relate and stuff like that. He used to be that kind of kid that used to, get made fun of and stuff like that, so he can understand. And I thought it was pretty cool, right? Because Daryl is, kind of sitting there, he's trying to refuel, he's trying to, get some stuff to get back home. And, well, let's talk about one of the most crazy parts of these flashbacks. I still can't even believe this happened, but I'm not kidding you guys. We actually get to see Daryl contact Carol in this episode. So Carol does make a appearance over radio in this episode. Melissa McBride actually filmed the scene, technically, in Season 1. And it's, oh my god, man. To me, it's without a doubt the craziest part of this whole episode. I can't even believe they did this, but All right, here it is. Basically, he contacts Carol, and Carol talks to him, and she sounds kind of distraught. She sounds kind of a little different than usual, which I gather is done on purpose. But anyway, Daryl's saying like, I'm in Maine. I'm just gonna fuel up. I'll be back there in about a week and stuff like that. And she's like, okay, like I hope everything's going all right. Like, are you sure you're okay? And Carol's like, yep, we're fine. Yep, everything's fine. And she's not really responding all that much. And they cut it, okay? And the line says, yeah, blah 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 came back. Okay? So they didn't fully say who it was. But Carol said, yeah, blank came back. And it was very quick. Like, it's not like a long name. It was a very quick name, Oh, man. Did they just tell us Rick got home, man? Like, I can't even fathom that right now. I remember I lost my crap when I saw this. Like, did they just tell us that Rick frickin' Grimes made it back home? And that kills me, man, because then Daryl, of course, ends up in France and he can't go back there to see him, Oh my god, like, did they just straight up tell us how The Ones Who Live ended? Like, is that really what happened, Because here's the thing, right? There's a few possibilities. Is it Morgan? Is it Dwight? Is it, somebody else? But, like, why would Carol sound like that? You know what I mean? And why would she say it in such an important way? Like, she's like, Daryl, blah, 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 came back, Oh, man, I I geeked out when I heard that. Is Rick frickin' back home, man? Oh my god, man, that distracted my mind throughout the whole rest of the episode. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, that completely just took my mind away. Yeah, I can't even believe that. So, Daryl's like, who made it back, right? Who made it back? I can't hear you. And then, of course, it cuts out, and he can't hear her for long. But why does Carol sound sad, right? Like, she sounds off, doesn't she? Like, she sounds really off. Like, I keep going by the theory that I keep saying about The Ones Who Live. I really am scared they're going to kill Michonne off. I really am. And, like, Rick makes it back, but at the cost of Michonne dying, right? I don't know, man. That's the thing that I keep thinking about every time I hear Carol's voice. It feels like something horribly wrong happened, but Rick is back either way. Something else happened. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Like, it's insane to me. And Daryl just narrowly heard it. Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, this show to me, now I can properly say this is without a doubt better than Dead City. They just teased The Ones Who Live in this. I mean, I guarantee you that is exactly what they set up. There's no way she's not talking about Rick. There is no way. I know the voice cut out. I know it's very, ominous and stuff, but there is no way she wasn't talking about Rick there, Oh, man. So, anyway, that for sure to me is probably like one of the biggest highlights of the show and one of the best scenes ever because, like just for that reason, I just geeked out to that. I had the chills. I just freaked the hell out, man. Wow, absolutely crazy. So let me know what you guys thought about that. That for sure was insane. Wow. So anyway, back to the review. So we get of course the kid. The kid is kind of, getting made fun of by these guys, and anyway, they, kind of beat the crap out of him and stuff. Daryl is not a big fan of this. He's not a big fan of how these guys are treating the kid. He's about to go back home, but when he sees, and this is a big reveal, the guys end up killing this kid and bringing him with the rest of the zombies, And Daryl sees this, he freaks out, he sucker punches one of the guys in the face, and they capture Daryl, they take him, big fight ensues, and they put him on this boat, and the rest is history, right? So the old man, one of the guys that was actually making fun of this kid, the old man is actually still on there with Daryl too, and they end up getting captured by Jeanette's people, right? So Jeanette's people were in and around. They take Daryl, they take the old man, they lock them up basically on this big boat. And we get a really amazing scene towards the end of the episode where we have a huge montage of Daryl pretending to be kind of like weak and not doing so good. The guys take him out of the cell. They put him in front of this like big walker pit. They're about to kill Daryl right then and there. And then Daryl, of course, flips it around, knocks one of the guys down, punches another guy. gets out of there and takes the friggin' key from the guard, gets the old man out, and they both try to escape the boat, which I loved it. I thought it was an amazing scene. I thought the fight scene was absolutely spectacular. And, well, let's talk about this, too. We actually get a major, major pumped up, like, variant walker that comes after Daryl. And the variant actually kills the guy. It kills the old man. So we actually get a gnarly walker kill in this one, too, which I just loved. I thought that was amazing. And the walker comes for Daryl. Daryl kind of, like, knocks it, but it's still not killed. Like, Daryl's having a hard time killing this walker. And Daryl has no choice but to literally, like, mean this, jump ship and, and get on the little raft, right? And that is how Daryl makes it to France, right? We line it up. So I thought that was really great. I thought that was really good. There's definitely, like, it's still a wonder of, like, why he was tied to the top. Like, they didn't really explain that too well, but, I thought it was a great scene. I thought it was really good. The fight scene on the boat was absolutely spectacular. And I loved it. I thought it was really, really amazing. And the cinematography, everything about it, it was just so good. So yeah, that's the flashback timeline. Now, finally, for the current day stuff, we got Daryl and Laurent, of course. They're, like, kind of, like, fishing and, camping and stuff. And the one guy that takes them on that trip, like, on the boat and stuff, Aslan or something, he ends up getting killed. He doesn't make it. So he is, like, a minor character death that we do get in this episode. He was a kind of cool, like, side character and stuff. But they kill him pretty quickly in this episode. And then, basically, they want to continue on their journey, but Laurent ends up cutting the rope and letting the boat free. And Daryl kind of gets upset about this, and he's kind of like, wait, like, why? Why would you do that, And he snaps at him, and he calls him all these names and stuff, and Laurent's basically saying, like, I don't want to be left alone, and I don't want to be on my own there, when you drop me off, what am I supposed to do, right? So he's kind of upset, and Daryl kind of understands that, and then he's like, all right, I'm sorry, and he kind of flips the switch, right? So I thought that was good. And basically, well, in terms of, the rest of the episode, we get Daryl, of course. They kind of, they're kind of like walking through, Daryl and Laurent, and they run into Jeanette's people, and they try to hide in the woods, right? Because Daryl and Laurent don't want to be spotted. Daryl tries to take them out, but unfortunately, they get the upper hand on them. Daryl tells Laurent to go, to get out of there, but Laurent cares too much about Daryl, so he comes back, gets himself captured as well, too. And basically, Isabelle and, of course, Quinn, they go there because, earlier in the episode, they were on their way there. So now everybody's there, right? They got Daryl locked up, and Jeanette basically locks Quinn up. She doesn't want to do business with him anymore. So now Quinn is locked up with Daryl, and, she's kind of like threatening Isabelle about Laurent and stuff. She's like, you don't want to see me angry and stuff, right? And basically, they make an example out of Daryl, right? Which leads into the ending scene, where Daryl is surrounded by a huge crowd of people. Jeanette makes a huge speech about Daryl and how bad he is and how he's going to pay the price, and he's the enemy that's going to pay. And anyway, they release this walker in front of Daryl. They give him a weapon, and one of the guys shoots the walker with one of those darts, and it, like, pumps up the zombie and gets it all, like, kind of crazy and stuff, just like the walker we saw in the flashback. And basically, the walker, like, lunges at Daryl. Daryl has the frickin' axe. And I actually predicted this week in predictions, too, is that the episode would end with the walker running towards him, Daryl would wind up, and then it would friggin' cut to black. And I was actually right. I can't believe I actually got that prediction right. But there you go. That's how the episode concludes. So, without a doubt, the most eventful, the most exciting episode yet. I loved it. To me, this is the best episode of the spin-off era of The Walking Dead. Like, between Dead City and Daryl Dixon, this is the best episode so far. Holy crap, man. So, there you go, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of episode 5 of Daryl Dixon, the penultimate. I thought it was absolutely spectacular. I still can't believe that we got a Rick mention in the way that we did, and that Rick is just back from what it sounds like. We got Carol in this episode. We got variants. We got, like, I mean, what else could you ask for? This is easily the best episode of the season. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of it. 10 out of 10 for me. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the subscribe button to not miss any of the videos of The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of Daryl Dixon. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.